that example number 4, I think, right? And it's part B now. Example 1.4 and part B. Okay. Right. So estimate the accelerations of electron and proton due to the electric force of their mutual attraction. Mutual, that is between the two. Right? So suppose there is a proton and there is an electron. Okay. We have to find their acceleration when they are 1 angstrom apart. So distance between them is given 1 angstrom. Okay, masses are given and all that. So we have to find what is the acceleration of proton and we have to find what will be the acceleration of electron. Question clear? અત્યારથી video is lagging. There our news અત્યારથી કહી દે. Okay, I hope now it's fine. અને આ બહુ કટ કેમ થાય છે આપણે? કેમેરા સામે. Okay. Okay. That means I can't go beyond. Yeah, so we have to find AP and A. So first we'll find force. See, here's the plan. If we find force and then divide it by mass of proton, we should get acceleration of proton. Okay. If we find force and then we divide by mass of proton, we get acceleration of electron. Very good. Right. Fine. So, what is AP? I will just find one, you do the other one on your own. Force between these two. Force between these two. So, just use the formula KE upon R square. The distance between them. The distance between them. 1 angstrom. So, 1 into 10 raised to minus 10 whole square. This is force. If I divide the force by the mass of proton, what's the mass of proton? 1.67 10 raised to minus 27. Did you understand? Everyone, did you understand this? Formula, Coulomb's law. What is the force between two charges? Q1, Q2 by R square. I hope that is clear now. So you do it this way. Similarly, if you want to find AE, you just find the force divided by mass of electron. You might be thinking, why are we taking electric force? Because that is given in the question. Read the question carefully. It's given that we have to consider the electric force or Coulomb force between them. Right? I hope that's clear. Okay. Now, fine. So that's it about this question. You do the calculations on your own. Alright? You do the calculations on your own. Now, let's go to example 1.5. Let's go to example 1.5. Giant question, but very easy to solve. Okay. All right. So what does the question say? A charged metallic sphere A suspended by a nylon thread, as you can see in the diagrams. I am not drawing the diagrams again. Okay. Right. Another charged metallic sphere P is held by an insulating handle, is brought close to it such that distance between them is 10 cm. So in the first diagram, I just drew it very roughly here. Distance between them is 10 cm. Here's A, here's B. Okay. At that time, the resulting repulsion of A is noted, okay, by some method, okay, by turning or by deflection of a beam of light and all that. Spheres, so right now there is some force F. let's say between these two the force is F. Okay, between these two the force is F. Now spheres A and B are touched by uncharged spheres C and D. So what happens? A is touched by C and B is touched by D. Okay, A is touched by C and B is touched by D as shown in figure. And then remove. So after doing this, we remove C and D. So now once again there are only A and B. Once again there are only A and B. Okay, now watch this carefully. What happens? Listen to this. What happens when you make other things touch some charged object? So suppose this had some charge. This also had some charge, right? When these two will touch each other and they are made up of metals, so the charge will flow in it and it will get distributed. Charge will flow in it and it will get distributed. Did you understand? Charge will flow and it will get distributed between C and A and between B and D. Now because the spheres are identical, see it's given in the last sentence, spheres A and C and spheres B and D have identical sides. So because these are identical, if the charge here was QA and QB, now finally here charge on both of them will become half. Did you understand what I am writing here? Did you understand what I am writing? Why will it become half on each? Because they are identical. So half will go to C and half will remain with A. They will share it equally. Got it? They will share it equally. Everyone, if you have understood, please raise your hand. That will give me confidence to go fast. Alright? Okay. Thank you so much. So now, if we remove C and remove D, now the charge on A is only QA by 2 and charge on B is only QB by 2. Is that okay? Charge on A is QA by 2 and charge on B is QB by 2. Now, what is, okay, there is one more thing given. And A and D, they are brought closer and distance of 5 centimeter is there between their center. Did you understand this part? Now it's not 10, it is 5. It's not 10, 5. Okay. Alright. So now we have to find what is the expected repulsion of A with B. What is the expected repulsion of A with B? You can do this in a very straightforward manner with proportionality. Do you realize that force is proportional to Q1, Q2 by R squared? Do you realize that force is proportional to Q1, Q2 by R squared? Okay, so have a look, compare this initial case with this final case. Compare this initial case with this final case. So we can say F dash upon F, initial F, final suppose F dash. Okay, by proportionality, F dash upon F. What happens to Q1 means first charge, here it was QA and now it is QA by 2. Did you understand? Q1 upon Q1. We are taking ratio, Q1 upon Q1. Now second one, Q2 upon Q2. Clear? Clear or not clear? Divided by. Okay, now it's upon R squared. So here also F dash upon F is to be done. So that means we will write final upon initial. Final distance 5 square. Upon initial distance 10 square. Did you understand? Did you understand the proportionality? We took a ratio of the two, final upon initial. Well, let's simplify it. Let's simplify it. Okay, QA cancelled, QB cancelled. So 1 upon 4. 2 into 2, 4. This is 2. 1 upon 4. 5 square upon 10 square means 25 upon 100. So do you realize that this will become 100 upon 25 into 4 means 1. That means f dash is equal to f. Okay, that means f dash is equal to f. Clear? So, you might think, why is it same? You can do it in your brain as well. Okay, very quickly. As follows. When charges become half, so half, so 4 should become 1/4. 4 should become 1/4. But when distance becomes half, because force is proportional to 1 by r square, use proportionality. Because force is proportional to 1 by r square. So if distance becomes half, the force should become 4 times. Did you understand? If distance becomes half, force should become 4 times. So 4 times and 1 by 4. So net effect is nothing. It remains the same. Net effect is nothing. It remains the same. Got it? Okay. Fine. Let's go to exercise now, everyone. Let's go to exercise. Now, question 12 is homework. Question 12, exercise question 12 is homework. Everyone, exercise question 12 is homework. Okay. Now, we will solve 13. We will solve 13 from the exercise. It is a similar idea, okay, but more general. Okay. So it says, suppose the spheres A and B in exercise 12, question 12, have identical sizes. So once again, this question is about two spheres, A, B. Right? And we have to read the question 12. They are separated by a distance, 50 centimeters. Now, to point out a little mistake in the question, I could say that Coulomb's law is actually only valid for point charges. Then why are we doing it for spheres? Right? Okay, so to make the question correct, we should put a small change. We should just add a little word over there. Make it two insulated, charged, small copper spheres. Okay? Add the word small. I hope you understand why I am adding the word small. Because small sphere would mean like a particle. Got it? So, the distance is 50 centimeter, charge on each of them. How much is the charge initially on each of them? QA is equal to 6.5 into 10 raised to minus 7, and Coulomb, that is also equal to QB. Everything clear so far? Everything clear so far? Although this is question 13, but information is same as question 12. Okay, now read 13. So suppose the spheres A and B in 12 have identical size. A third sphere of same size but uncharged is brought in contact with the first. First means A. and then brought in contact with second. Okay, so lots of things going on. Suppose we call that third sphere C. So here is C, and first it is brought in contact with A. Alright, here is C, it is brought in contact with A. At that time, no change with B. After that, we take that sphere from here, we remove C from here. After that, we make it touch B. Did you understand the question? Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Clear or not clear? What do we do next? What do we do next? Then we remove it from both. So last stage, we throw C away. We throw C away. So it's like this now. Understood? We throw C away. And distance still the same. Yes. Now you have to find what will be the force. Right? In this case, in this final diagram, what will be the force between these two? Clearly, to find force, you need to know the charges and you need to know the distance. We know the distance. Now it's all about charges. Let's begin. Right? Okay, so I'm putting the charges in different stages as follows. Stage 1, QA and QB both are equal. 6.5 into 10 raised to minus 7 coulomb. Stage 2. Stage 2. See, earlier C was uncharged. Earlier C was uncharged. So now, if this will come with charge 0, listen to this carefully, and this has this much charge. So the total charge is distributed. So total charge on A and C will become equal now. It is equally distributed. How much was the total? This much. Numerator is the total. It is distributed equally on both. Is this step clear or not clear? Is this step clear or not clear? What have I done? I repeat. C comes with 0 charge and A has this charge. So when they both combine, total charge becomes this numerator, correct? This plus 0. And then that total charge is distributed into 2, right? It's just like you come with 3 pens, your friend comes with let's say 5 pens, okay? Then you mix all the pens and you distribute them equally. Understood? 3 plus 5 by 2. That's what you take each. Got it? अरे प्लस 0 समझावा માટે લખું છું પ્લસ 0 લખીએ ન લખીએ કઈ ફરક ન પડે કમ ઓન આટો okay, so that's what plus 0 is for. Now third one, third stage. Here A will obviously have, also what will B have? No change, right? B has no change. I hope that's clear. Now here third stage, A will now have this much charge. Okay, I can put the value by dividing, but I'll do it later. A has this much charge in third stage. And B, here what will happen? What will happen? Here, which two things will share their total charge? Which two things will share their total charge in third stage? Which two things will share their total charge? Yes, B and C. So again, it's like that analogy. You and your friend come with some pens. You mix them and you take them equally. So QB equal to QC now. QB equal to QC now. But that would be, first of all, be very careful here. Upon 2. Y upon 2 divided equally in both. Now, what about B's charge? B's charge was 6.5 into 10 raised to minus 7. Okay? Plus, what about C's charge? What was C's charge when C comes here from here? When C comes here, what was C's charge? What was C's charge when C comes over there? Yes, they were correct. Raj, not, sorry, Ria, not correct. Same as a not, yeah, that's right. Ankita, not correct. What is QC by 2? Yes, Prima, that's fine. So here, charge on C would be 6.5 into 10 raised to minus 7 upon 2. Is this clear? Is this clear? Again, think of analogy. C comes to B with how much charge already? This much charge. That's why it is to be added. Clear? Now, let's simplify all this. Okay, now let's write it. So this is going to be 3.25 into 10 raised to minus 7 coulomb, and this is QB equal to QC equal to, okay, 3.25, 9.75, 9.75 and divided by 2. So 4.8, okay, and then 7.5 into 10 raised to minus 7. This is the final value of QB and QC. Is this clear? Check it by doing calculation. Is it clear or not clear? Anyone has doubt with it? Anyone have doubt with it? Anyone has doubt with it? Dave, do you have a doubt? Dia, do you have a doubt? Okay, nobody has doubt with it. Alright. Fine. So now we have in fourth stage nothing is happening, correct? There is nothing extraordinary. So this is QA, this is QB. In fourth stage it will be just like that. Okay, now let's find out force. Force is equal to K, QA, QB. Again, there is no need to put modulus, both are positive. Upon R square. Okay. K, how much is K? 9 into 10 raised to 9. QA 3.25 into 10 raised to minus 7. Into QB 4.875 into 10 raised to minus 7. Okay. Divided by R square. Distance is 50 centimeters, so 0.5 square. Alright. So that's it for this question. Very good. So that answer will be in Newton. Okay, that answer will be in Newton. See, if you don't want to write all these numbers, I have another way for you. You can say that suppose this is capital. Assume it is capital. So that way you can write this very easily. You can say this becomes Q plus 0 by 2 means Q by 2. Okay. Then here it will become Q plus Q by 2 by 2. Okay. Do you understand what I am saying? If you write capital Q that way, you can avoid writing all these numbers. Right? So here this would become Q plus Q by 2 by 2 means take LCM. It will become 3Q by 4. Is it clear? It will become 3Q by 4 and this will become Q by 2. So finally here you can just write it as K into Q by 2 into 3Q by 4 upon R square. Okay, then put the values. Right? The other method also clear, where you take Q everywhere, it becomes easy to write. Okay? Well then. So with that, this question is over. Okay, calculation is for you to complete. Right? Calculation is for you to complete. Now let's talk about something called permittivity. Let's talk about something called permittivity. Okay, just give me one moment, everyone. Yeah, fine. electrical permittivity. See, I'm not going to explain what this is right now. Okay, that will come near the end of chapter 2. So please be patient. I will not explain what is electrical permittivity meaning, okay, or why is it given this kind of name or anything, okay, but I will just relate it with Coulomb's constant. Okay, excuse the spelling if it's wrong. So I will just relate it with Coulomb's constant. It's a very simple formula that you should remember. It is that K is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. But epsilon 0 is called electrical permittivity. It is called electrical permittivity of free space or vacuum. Okay, it is called electrical permittivity of free space. Now, if you put Coulomb's constant's value, you can find out how much really is epsilon. Did you understand what I have written based on this equation? Did you understand what I have written? I will do it in my book. Let me repeat, I am not explaining what is this. Okay, this is not the right time to explain what is electrical permittivity. Right time will come in chapter 2. Okay, so epsilon 0 is this, and you know, when we put all these values and calculate, we'll get roughly about 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12. Okay, we'll get 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12, and the unit will be reciprocal of K. The unit will be reciprocal of K, so it will be Coulomb square per Newton meter square. Understood the unit? The unit is reciprocal of K's unit. So Coulomb square per Newton meter square. Right? Yeah, see, one more thing. You could be asked to find dimensional formula. You could be asked to find dimensional formula of epsilon 0. Find it very easily using this relation. Okay? See, how so? Do you understand that we can write Coulomb's law like this also in magnitude? Do you realize that we can write Coulomb's law like this in magnitude? Yes or no? Yes or no? Is this clear? Is this clear? Raise your hand if it's clear. Okay, we have just put K's value, right? We are not doing anything else. We are just putting K's value here. So if you do it this way, you can find dimensions of epsilon easily. You can find dimensions of epsilon 0 easily. How so? Put this here. Epsilon 0 would be same as modulus Q1 Q2 upon F and R square in dimensions. Okay, this is in dimensions. Right? So you know how to find dimensions of charge, force and distance, right? So put all that and you will get something here. This is your little homework. Okay? This is your little homework. Don't forget the little one. Alright? Find the dimensions of epsilon 0 by this method. Don't see it from the book. Okay? Don't waste everybody's time by doing cheating. Alright, so I am erasing everything now. So don't forget, you can write Coulomb's law like this also. Don't be surprised if you see something like this. Okay, I am going to erase everything. This topic is done. And one more thing, you have to remember this epsilon's value. Okay, not difficult, because if you can remember K, even if you forget epsilon, you can put that and get it, right? You have to, or ideally you should remember epsilon 0's value, the value of electrical permittivity of free space, right? 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12 in SI units. Okay, now let's go over to the next topic. Ankita, I really don't know what's the correct answer. I'll be very honest with everyone here. I don't know what will be the dimensions of epsilon 0. We can find it, of course, right? So very likely your answer is correct. Okay? Fine. Now, let's go over to the next topic. Okay, let's go over to the next topic, which is your favorite, one and only, superposition principle. Okay, superposition principle for electrostatic forces. I will not spend lot of time with this. જેટલી વારમાં ટાઇટલ લખ્યું ને એટલી વારમાં પૂરું કરી નાખું. Voice is not proper. Can you hear my voice, everyone? Is it clear? Can you hear it? આ તો રાત બોલીને ગળો બેસી ગયો છે એટલે હવે જોરથી ને બોલું. Well, fine. Looks like it's clear. Some network problem. Fine. So what is superposition principle? It's that electric force or electrostatic force between two charges is not affected or influenced by presence of other charges. In short, no charge will poke their dirty nose in some other charges, right? What does that mean here again? Suppose this is one charge q1 and here is some charge q2. Let's say that the force on 1 due to 2 right now is k q1 q2 by r12 square r12 hat. Coulomb's law in vector form. Okay? Alright? Now, so this principle says that even if there was suppose a third charge, then also force on 1 by 2 will not change. Did you understand what superposition principle is telling you? Even if there was a third charge, this will not change. It will remain the same. Okay, it will remain the same. So what that means is that when you want to find force between two charges, you simply ignore other charges. Okay, you are not there, right? We are hiding you. So like that. So this means now if I want to find in this situation, look at this diagram. In this situation, net electrostatic force on q1 is F1 vector, which is equal to, I hope no one has any problem with this. Absolutely clear or not clear? Yes, Risha, that's what. Okay, nothing except these two. Right? So if there are other charges, this is not affected. Is this clear? Feels like gravitation, doesn't it? Feels like gravitation. Okay, so everything is there in vector form also. You know, if you want, I can draw all them. For example, suppose all are positive. Then F12 is in this direction. Then F13 will be in this direction. Repulsive force. Did you understand? And where will be resultant? We can draw a parallelogram or something and make a resultant. Okay, so this is the resultant force. Method clear? Method clear or not clear? Nothing new here. And if you want, you can write this also in vector form as follows: k q1 q2 upon r12 square r12 hat plus k q1 q3 upon r13 square r13 hat. Did you understand this? Using Coulomb's law in vector form. अरे वाह, તમને તો ફટાફટ આવડી ગયું. તમે તો 11th માં શીખીને જ આવ્યા લાગો છો. કોણ ભણાવે તમને આવું? Okay, I am erasing this. I am erasing this. Okay. I am sure you have understood how to do it if there are more charges, right? F14, F15, like that. You can add as many as there are. Remember, there is never anything like this. Force on one because of one, not possible. Got it? This is always going to be 0. Okay? Don't write that. Yeah, fine. Now attempt to solve some questions based on this, if we have time. Okay, we have little. We could do it. Okay. So we're going over to example 6. Example 6. Okay, example 6, everyone. 11th માં થઈ ગયો છે આ example. There it was gravitation. Here it is Coulomb force or electrostatic force. Consider 3 charges each equal to Q. So here 1, 2, 3 like that. Okay. With that vertices of an equilateral triangle. Here a Q is there, here a Q is there, and here a Q is there. Right? This is Q1, which is Q. This is Q2, which is Q, and this is Q3, which is Q. What is, okay, the triangle has side L, equilateral triangle of side L. What is the force on the charge capital Q with same sign as small q placed at the centroid of the triangle? This is the centroid. Here we have put a charge capital Q, okay? Here we have put a charge capital Q. I hope that is clear from the question. We have to find net force on it. We have to find net force on it if it is at the centroid. કર્યું હતું ને આ 11th માં યાદ છે? Do you remember? We have solved exactly this question in 11th standard. Okay, fine. How many forces will act on this? 3. 3 is clear? 3 forces will act on this. Fq equal to force on Q is equal to Fq1, Fq2 and Fq3, all added in vector form. Force is a vector, not a scalar. Force is a vector, not a scalar. So please be careful. Added in vector form. Now, if you draw the diagrams, all are positive or all are same sign. So this one will repel this, so force will be downwards. Clear or not clear? Fq1 downwards. Yes or no? Yes or no? Fq1 downwards. Yes or no? Why so? Same sign. Same sign means like charges. Like charges repel. So આને ધક્કો મારી દીધો. જા. Okay. Second one, will repel it this way. Clear? And similarly third one will repel it this way. You see, this makes a nice triplet. Okay, do you remember like this, that when there are 3 forces equal in magnitude? Why are they equal in magnitude? All the charges are same. Q, Q, Q. Yes, so net force is 0. Dia, problem is on your side. Net force is 0. Alright? Understood? Because there are 3 at 120 degrees each. Okay? So 0. Done. Question solved. Alright. Next question. Number 7. Yeah, you could say that. And in opposite direction. Right. Question 7. Alright? This is over. 11th નું બીજી વાર ભણાવવામાં આવશે નહીં. Simple rule of 12th standard. Okay? તમે આવ્યા તો સારું, ન આવ્યા તો વધારે સારું. Okay, example 1.7. Consider the charges Q, Q and minus Q placed at the vertices of an equilateral triangle as shown in figure. Okay. So here this is point C and here the charge is Q3 which is equal to minus Q. Here there is a point A, the charge is Q1 which is equal to Q. And here there is a point B and the charge is Q2 equal to Q. Okay. And the length of the side is L. Okay, length of the side is L. Now, so we want to find what is the force on each charge. Question clear? What is the force on each charge? It means we have to find how much is the total force on A, how much is the total force on B, and how much is the total force on C. 3 questions in one. Okay. I will solve only one, right? I will solve only one. કારણ કે method બધી જ શીખવાડી દીધી છે. કેટલી વાર repeat કરવાનું? Okay, so I will actually do the tougher one. Okay, don't worry. I will do it for B. I will do it for B. One more thing. In the exam, figure like this will not be given. Figure ma forces દેખાડી દીધા છે. That is not going to happen in exam, right? I hope you realize they will not show you which direction forces are acting. We have to find it ourselves. Let's start. So I am going to do FB. A and C for you homework. Understood? A and C for you as homework. So now for B. Here. How many forces will act on B? Think about it. How many forces will act on B? Okay, video is paused. Let's wait for a while. Yeah, I know now the video is paused. Wait for a while. Okay, fine. Looks alright. No, not quite. Not quite. Okay. I was asking you on this charge B, how many forces are acting? I was asking you on the charge B, how many forces? Yes, one from A, one from C. Clear? One from A and one from C. Right? I hope everyone understood that. So now for A, this is plus Q, this is also plus Q. Like or unlike? People, like or unlike? Like or unlike? Like charges. And like charges repel. So B will have a force from A towards right side. Is this clear? Clear or not clear? Force on B due to A. Force on B due to A. Clear? Repel. Okay? A will push B away. Now, look at B and C. Look at B and C. Like or unlike? B and C. This is charge at C. This is charge at B. Like or unlike? Yeah, unlike. So they will attract. So B will be attracted, pulled by C. Okay? Attracted means pulled towards itself. So B will be attracted by C. Did you understand this? FBC. Clear or not clear? છે gravity જેવું છે કે નહીં? બોલો. Now, diagram done. We will find out magnitudes first. Okay, then we will find resultant. Okay, we will find magnitude. So FBA equal to FBA. Right? How much is it? Force on B due to A. Magnitude only. So use Coulomb law. What is the Coulomb law? K Q1 Q2 upon distance squared. Is this clear, everyone? Is this clear or not clear? KQ square by L square. kq square by L square. I hope at every stage you are getting reminded of gravitation. It should be that way. Now, FBC, force on B due to C in magnitude. Magnitude only. Magnitude only. Clear or not clear? Magnitude only. Any doubts? Anyone thinking where did the minus sign go? Anyone thinking like that? In magnitude you should put modulus, isn't it? When you put modulus, the minus sign will be gone. Alright? So do you see these are same? In magnitude, you can just call it anything actually. Let's say x. Anything, okay? A, B, C, D, whatever you want to call it. X. Okay? Now, resultant time. So total force. So first of all, I write formula. FB vector equal to FB A vector plus FB C vector. Okay. So now to find resultant, we will use the formula. Okay, we have learned this formula. What is magnitude of resultant? I am writing it in box. Do you remember magnitude of resultant? R equal to magnitude of resultant. R equal to, what's the formula? Do you remember? Magnitude of resultant. R is equal to, I know it's very difficult to write, under root a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. Okay, so let's use it. Alright, so FD is resultant. It's equal to under root first force magnitude x, second force magnitude x squared plus 2x x cos. What's the angle between these two? It's an equilateral triangle. This is 60, so this is 120. Okay, we are counting. Okay, and cos 120 degree minus 1 by 2. Cos 120 degree is minus 1 by 2. So put everything. This will become x. Okay, maths to be done by you. This is minus 1 by 2. You all know that. Okay. Clear? This would be x. Finally, and what is x? Write it. kq square by L square. Okay, so we have got x here, right? Alright, we just did this. We got x again, that is kq square by L square. Now we can also draw the resultant by using parallelogram method. So it will be this way at 60 degree. Do you understand? This angle will be 60 degree. The resultant will be at 60 degree from this line. Okay. So you can put that finally in words. That force on B is k cube square by L square at 60 degree with line AB. Okay. So that will be our final answer. Understood the method? Like this you have to do for A and C. There will be two forces. Find the forces, take resultant and get the answer. Right? That's the method. Alright, so that's it for today. Goodbye everyone.